Good afternoon, Rebecca Allinson,
Good afternoon.
Senior Consultant in Technopolis, expert in higher education, and usually commonly consulting of the European Commission. Welcome to our conference, welcome to Amsterdam.
Thank you very much. I've really enjoyed being here. It's been a fabulous 2 days so far.
Thank you very much. We'd like to ask you a question because you've been working for the Commission for already many years, and we would like to ask you, what do you think is the current role of the European Commission within this university business cooperation field?
I mean, it's an interesting one for the European Commission because, of course, they don't really have a remit over higher education, in a regulatory form or legislatively, in that it's a concern of the individual member states. And so therefore the work that they've done is very much around encouragement and through peer learning exercises and what they call the open method of coordination, which has been around for a few years now, particularly on pushing forward the modernisation agenda. And so which is why with the University Business Forum that the European Commission have, that they're really doing it from a very practical perspective of bringing the stakeholders together, bringing the universities and the businesses together in the same room in order to look at what are the issues, how can the Commission at that level help to resolve some of the issues that they're seeing.
Is the role of the Commission just funding, or can it go beyond just giving money to universities and businesses to cooperate?
Well, they wouldn't say that they do give money, in that their funding around this is very much about a stimulation exercise. And so where they have, for example, recently there have been pilots on the knowledge alliances where they've given sort of quite small amounts of money for actually bringing universities and businesses together to do things such as curriculum reform. But that's almost opening the door to relationships, and I think that's what they want to do. I mean, obviously we have the big research funding program, which is different, and through there are great stimulus to get SMEs involved, for example, and in the Horizon 2020 there'll be an awful lot more emphasis on getting those collaborations from the research side. But when you talk about partnership overall, I think their role is very much to just try and facilitate the process.
And I can imagine it can actually become complicated because, as far as I'm concerned, there are different DGs and different units within the European Commission involved in this topic. It's a topic that touches universities, so touch education, touch business, so enterprise, also innovation, also policy. So isn't that just too complicated?
Well, I mean, it's not really for me to say about the structure of the European Commission, but knowing the structure, I think there are clear roles and responsibilities. So I think up until recently you've seen within DG Enterprise, very much taking the role from the business side, that they've been really interested in entrepreneurship education because they're looking at the employability skills of young graduates coming through and their ability to start up their own businesses. So you can see that, and of course universities have taken that up. So DG Education and Culture will work very strongly with DG Enterprise on those issues. And then of course we have the research and innovation side. Now there are good structures in place for these DGs to work together internally, which happens. And we know that the money is in research and innovation, and DG Education and Culture has a very small budget around these issues compared to DG Research and Innovation when it comes to the research funding. So it's all a very difficult issue to resolve. And on top of that, we then have DG Regio, who's in charge of the smart specialisation agenda, very, very big push for universities to be involved in the regional economy. So I think we're right to, if we have a message for the Commission, it's to make sure that they are much, much more joined up and that they encourage these synergies of the use of funding in the future on the ground.
That would be essential for the effectiveness of the programs. Thanks so much for the insight. And my next question is a question that I'm asking all our participants speaker, and it's about the future. So how do you see the future of university business relations in 10 years?
Oh, a lovely complex question. I mean, on the optimistic side, I think this will definitely be something which we become much, much better at. Some of the reasons for becoming better at it are, of course, potentially negative behaviour in terms of funding that's going to be coming from government. So I think it swings and roundabouts, but I think that the overall as well, it puts some quite complex decisions on the universities themselves that have to maintain their own mission. And it's not to say that they need the missions that they have now, but they will need to have very, very strong core strategic missions in the future, because if they are going to be many things to many people, then they also have to make sure that they sort that out and protect as well some of the fundamental research, which is a real concern to them, the amount of research that's going to go into good science and innovation, of course, science that feeds innovation in the future. So I think that they're going to have a lot of change internally to have to deal with.
A lot of changes mean lots of challenges that we hope that they all can overcome as best as possible. Thank you very much, Rebecca Allinson, for your words. Thank you very much for your participation in this conference. I hope you have a great time in Amsterdam with us.